A significant amount of clients that I work with come to me and they have one issue that they struggle with the most. They fall for people who tends to be emotionally unavailable. And what emotionally unavailable means is thank you for sticking around. If this is your first time viewing me, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to get right to it. What I mean by emotionally unavailable, I have 3 ways to tell. Now, there are so many more ways to tell that a person is emotionally unavailable, or so many other kind of indicators or characteristics that comes along with someone who's emotionally unavailable. But I'm going to talk about just 3 big ones that I found while I've been coaching people and from the feedback that I get from people from the channel. It's interesting, though, because many of these people, they have a pattern. Right? They have a certain type. The people who are emotionally available, they're not really attracted to. It doesn't quite do it for them. But for the ones who come off as like the bad boys, or someone who is a woman who, is kind of hard to get a hold of, kind of hard to get in your grasp. And I think about the fishing analogy. You get them on the hook, but, you keep yanking, you can't quite get them in the boat, those type of people. So the first way to tell that someone may be emotionally unavailable is they never had a significant relationship. And what I mean by that is if they are someone who have reached the age of 30, 35, 40, and they can tell you that they've never been in a relationship that they consider to be a significant relationship to them, maybe 3 months, maybe 5, 6 months, but nothing like 2 years, 3 years. They've never been with someone that they ever thought about marrying. They've never been with someone that they thought about having kids with. That's what I mean by someone who's never had a significant relationship. I was coaching a woman once, and she had an issue with a guy that was 40 years old. He told her that he had never had someone that has made it past 3 months. And she said, and I asked her, how did you meet this guy? She met him on a dating app. And she said that he was very active on that dating app. He had been on it for like 10 years. And I'm like, wow, that's like when dating apps first started. So he must have been an early installer of the app, apparently. And she said, yeah, he actually has been doing this for a very long time. And honestly, that was one of the first things that really concerned her. That was her very first red flag about that guy. But she ignored it. She thought that, maybe he picked me because I'm special. I'm someone that can make it past this sprint, this finish line that he typically has with other women. But that didn't happen. She managed to get about a year with this guy. And like all the other people, he broke it off with her and said that he needed space. He felt like he was losing himself. He felt too claustrophobic and in a relationship. He felt claustrophobic and like he was closed in. So she reached out to me and asked me how in the world can she get this guy back, because he really did show up for her. In the beginning, he really showed up, and it felt like something that was really real and like it was a relationship that can go the distance. The second thing that has been a big indicator for me is they take forever to say words of endearment to you. And what I mean by words of endearment, I mean more specifically to say, I love you, I care for you, things that give you validation, to speak those love languages, right? We know a lot about love languages. They take forever to say that because they're like holding it out. I was actually coaching another woman, and she said that this guy didn't say that he loved her until 6 and 7 months down the line. And he said the reason why he waited is because he says that when he decides to say those words to someone, he wants to make sure that it has a lot of weight behind it. It's something that's almost like a treat. I was like, oh, so it's like a treat. It's like you have to like do little puppy tricks and spin in circles and go down and come up. I'm like, well, here's the thing. I understand that it's good to not say something that you don't mean, but it almost feels like he's just waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like he's waiting for the opportunity to point out that flaw or point out something that he almost don't trust himself. He almost don't trust his decision making. And if he actually knows what true love is, for me, that's a red flag. For me, that's not something that you want to pursue any longer. So that relationship ended up breaking up, of course, because she reached out to me because of that. And I was asking her a little bit about the history of the relationship. How did you guys get to this point? You know, who said who loved who first? Who actually decided to have the exclusivity label in the first place? And she said that, of course, it was her. And she said it within 2 months. And I basically had to let her know that I don't know if this was actually something that he was truly all the way in, you know, because think about it. When you're head over heels for someone, when you find someone that you truly click with and you want to do things for them to make them know and to give them that type of certainty that they are the person for you, and you do things, when you're really head over heels for someone, you'll do things you never thought you'll ever do, right? That's just how it is. That's the reality. We bend over backwards for people that just make us feel a certain type of way that we've never felt before. So if it's something as simple as saying the words "I love you," that means that honestly he probably was waiting for someone else that did it more for him, you know, that can make him feel a little bit stronger, a little bit passionate. The person that he can really idolize, you know, that felt like, I don't know who you guys are into, but you know that one celebrity that you just, as a kid, you probably had hanging up on your wall, or whenever you see him on TV, you felt, you know, you just start to tingle because you're like, ooh, they're just so fine. Apparently you didn't have that effect on him. And if you did, where I've coached a lot of men in my life. Many times what I hear from them is they date a bunch of different women, and then all of a sudden they have this one girl that comes along that just does it for them, where they'll break up and they just can't eat, can't sleep. They're just bent out of shape. And I ask them, I say, when did you say I love you? Did you say I love you first? And sure enough, they say, yep, I said I love you first. And those are the people that are head over heels for you. Those are the people that would do whatever for you. So if it's something like saying I love you and they won't even say it, then they're probably not someone that you can consider is for you. I know people are going to get upset about that, but you know, I stand firm on this one. The third way that you can tell a person is emotionally unavailable, and this is my final one here for you guys, thanks for sticking around for this third one, is they avoid conversations about the future. They just avoid it like the Black Plague. This may not be necessarily one of the ones that you should take as like law or, you know, biblical knowledge, but I know people have a lot of different histories, and they may be a little bit more reserved about giving everything and going all in. You know, that's why I have that 90-day rule. You have to make sure that a person shows up consistently, and 90 days is a good indication for how long they can fake it. If they can't go past 90 days, then you know that this person is not really the person that you met in the beginning. You know, because you kind of blow through that honeymoon phase. So, and that honeymoon phase can last up to 6 months to a year. And if they can't make it past that, then I digress. I'm going to go back to what I was saying. They don't even talk about the future. They're not talking about, what's going to happen, or with who's going to hang out, what you're going to do for 4th of July plans, if you're going to go to the wedding that you got planned in August or September. They typically don't talk about those type of things, and they typically feel uncomfortable committing to those type of conversations because it makes them feel like they have to make a decision. They have to get off the fence. So if they're not getting off the fence and they're still leading you on, then they probably are emotionally unavailable. So I hope you found this video valuable. Please follow me on my other social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I am Coach Court. And always remember, when you go be loved, you'll never have to find it. Namaste.